So, as I said before in my previous live video, I have uploaded more than 150 videos on YouTube on this channel, and I'm thrilled to report that every day almost I get messages on social media, different apps asking me questions, and I have decided to answer them in on YouTube in real time. And if you can join me during this live, then feel free to ask me any question. So I got a few questions today, and I thought this is an appropriate forum to answer those questions to the best of my ability. Of course, whatever answer I come up with is based on my own experience, and it may not work for you as well as it did for me. So, with that out of the way, let's look at the questions. This is someone who says that he found my video uh, very useful. He is asking me if I joined any course for OET preparation. So for those who don't know, OET is Occupational English Test. It is one of those English language proficiency tests which helps convince General Medical Council of the United Kingdom that one is proficient in the use of English language, that you can communicate effectively in English, and you need at least a B grade in each of the four sections of the test. It has four sections. There is writing, listening, reading, and speaking. You need at least B for ball in each of these sections. There is no overall score for OET. So, did I join any preparation course for this? No, I didn't. I prepared for OET primarily through the resources made available by the official OET website. So there is the official website of Occupational English Test, where there are several sample tests freely available, and you can practice them as many times as possible, and they have also been transparent enough to tell you about the exact marking criteria. So I devoted about a month for OET, and if you are fluent in English, if you have studied in an English medium school and you are good in English in school, then you would not need more than 10 days, realistically speaking, to be confident about doing well in OET. You need at least B. I got A in reading and listening, and I got B in writing and speaking. I narrowly missed out on B in the speaking part. I have made detailed videos about OET. I think the second most popular video on my channel is how to pass OET in 25 days. Please feel free to check that out. And I've also made videos about each individual section of OET, and also I have made videos talking about how I solved sample tests. Sample test reading, sample test listening, sample test speaking, sample test writing, all of that is freely available on my channel. So feel free to check out the OET playlist, and I'm sure that will answer all of your questions. As for me, I did not take any preparation course, but the Occupational English Test website itself was quite enough. But there are very useful videos available on YouTube apart from my own, such as the videos by E2. They are really helpful, so you can check those out as well. The other question I was asked was, what did you attach for employment references? So for GMC registration, I did not have to attach any employment references. I believe employment references only talk about any period of work done in the last 5 years without registration. If it's medical work, then if any period of medical work was done in the last 5 years without registration, then you need to provide employment references certifying that your work was unimpeachable. This is provided by a Gen 1 form. Your employer has to fill the Gen 1 form certifying that your work was unimpeachable. Okay, so that is employment reference, and after that you have if you have worked in a non-medical capacity in the last 5 years, say you worked not as a doctor, maybe you did something else, that employment should also have an employment reference. So employment reference only required if there is any medical work done in the last 5 years without registration, or any non-medical work done in the last 5 years, that is 5 years prior to the date of you applying for GMC registration. Now, it's important here also to remember that under which circumstances are you likely to have worked without registration. So this does happen quite frequently in India when you are moving from one state to another. you might start working and you have applied for registration in the new state, but it takes some time to receive the registration in the new state. So you may have worked for a few weeks without registration in the new state. Say you move from West Bengal to Karnataka, and it took time to get registration in the Karnataka Medical Council. So whatever that duration was, where you worked when you worked in Karnataka without registration with Karnataka Medical Council, your employer needs to fill the Gen 1 form and certify that your work during that period was exemplary, was satisfactory. Okay. And I think the last question that was asked today is, what is the right time to apply for good standing certificate? So the right time to apply for good standing certificate, as what did I do? I first started the GMC registration process. I applied, I went onto the GMC website, created a GMC online account, got the all important 7-digit GMC reference number, and my state medical council has a very nice, in India, my state medical council has a very nice online portal. So I had to apply through the portal, stating that I need a good standing certificate for GMC purposes, and I had to share my GMC reference number. Without the GMC reference number, the state medical council that I belong to was not willing to entertain me. So I started the GMC application process, got the GMC reference number, then applied for the good standing certificate. I got the good standing certificate on the same day. On the same day, the good standing certificate was emailed to GMC, and I got a copy of that email. And on the same day, GMC replied to me saying that they've already received the good standing certificate, and they are looking for my GMC registration application, which had not started by that time. So I finished the GMC application process the same night, and I think 2 to 3 days later, I got a confirmation email from GMC stating that my registration was complete and I needed to complete the identity check. Now the identity check for GMC registration is now digital, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home country. You just need a good smartphone with iOS 15 or later, or Android 9 or later. You have to download an app called Dig Identity, and you can verify your identity there. Again, I've made detailed videos talking about this as well. This video, I believe, is titled How to Get GMC Registration Easily. It is one of the most watched videos on my channel, so please feel free to check that out as well. Another thing that I want to talk about here is that recently I watched a video made by John Oliver, one of my favorite YouTubers, if I can call him that. Of course, he's not a YouTuber, but John Oliver recently made a video about UK general elections, and I feel I can talk about it a little bit because I have friends in the UK now. So in that video, he talked about how the NHS is one of the most important electoral issues, and how the current government is being accused of having dismantled it by prolonged periods of underinvestment. These are John Oliver's words. What I do know about the NHS is that lots of people have lots of things to say about it. One of the most common complaints about the NHS is the long waiting lines. Almost 7.5 million people are waiting for non-emergency care in the NHS. Let that figure sink in. 7.5 million. That's 75 lakh people. And the UK does not have as many people as India does. In India, if people are waiting for more than an hour, at least from my experience, things get really nasty. So I'm not saying we should get nasty in the NHS, but from the doctor's point of view, as well as from the patient's point of view, things can be improved in the NHS, and it is one of the most important issues in the UK general election that are scheduled to happen in a short while. So again, if you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out to me either on social media or on YouTube, and I'll be happy to get back to you. So thank you for tuning into this live. Take care. Bye bye. And I really don't know much about IIT, so maybe somebody else can help you with that. Thank you.